there, I want to do a little tutorial for you on the difference between precum and semen, because they are not the same thing. So semen is a complex mixture of fluids containing sperm, fluid from the seminal vesicles, and prostatic fluid. And so there's a whole laundry list of ingredients and nutrients that go into the production of semen. But the long and short of it is that semen is baby batter. You create new human beings with semen. So that you want to maintain and make sure that if you are practicing semen retention, that you are not emitting or excreting semen. You want to retain that. Precum, on the other hand, is lube. Precum is not associated with semen. So precum comes from the Cowper's gland, or otherwise known as the Bartholin's gland in people with vulvas and vaginas. And in people with penises, it's generally referred to as Cowper's gland fluid. So the Cowper's gland, these are pea-sized glands. They are independent of the prostate gland, and they produce a fluid that coats the urethra to protect the semen and the sperm as it goes through. But also, precum in Tibetan Tantra is a sign of sexual arousal and healthy sexual function. So these two fluids are not the same thing. Precum and semen, not the same thing. Now, can you get pregnant from precum? Now, this has been a matter of debate for decades. Recently came across a study that had been done in 2010, 2013, if I'm remembering correctly, that addresses this issue specifically. And what they say in the study, I'm going to post a link for you below. What they say in the study is that up until this point, there had never been a conclusive study on the presence or lack thereof of semen, sperm, motile sperm in precum. There had never been a study done to document whether or not that was true. So there was a bunch of people giving their opinions on it with no actual hard, cold, documented science to back up that opinion. So these folks did this test, and we're happy that they did. And so what they found is they only had 27 people. So in my opinion, basing a decision or a conclusion on only 27 people is erroneous. So number one, we'll start with that. What they found is that out of these 27 people, 40%, or we'll say 11 of those participants, did have motile sperm in their precum when they took the samples. The other 60% did not. So the question I'm looking at as a tantric healer is what's going on for those people who do not have semen in their precum versus the people that do have sperm or semen in their precum. And from the standpoint, again, as a tantric healer, what I'm hearing from that 40% is that there's leakage. There's crossing, because the baseline of health is that Cowper's gland fluid should be happening before the introduction of any semen or any sperm. So if there is an introduction of semen and sperm into the precum, where's the leakage? Why are we leaking? Because these are two different functionings happening at two different stages of sexual arousal. Precum is lube to get the sexual encounter started. Semen is when the party's over. That's when the party's over. So happening at different stages of the sexual arousal cycle. So what I would do as a tantric healer is I would look at what's happening for the group, the 40% that are having what I consider to be leakage. I'd be looking at, are these people premature ejaculators? Do these lingam owners have any issues of erectile dysfunction? Are they chronic masturbators? What is the tonacity of their pelvic floor? Do they have any issues urinating? I would be looking for other causes and other conditions associated with this leakage. Unfortunately, the people who did this study did not want to take it any further. Apparently, they weren't as curious as I was about what was going on. They just accepted this as fact and said, therefore, in many cases, it is not a withdrawal method or is not effective form of birth control, and that precum in some cases will contain sperm and or semen. And what I say as a tantric healer is that if your precum contains sperm or semen, that could be an indication of a deeper underlying sexual health issue or sexual dysfunction issue. And so I would look to applying the tantric methods of pelvic floor exercises and the semen retention methods to help see if we could correct the underlying root cause of that issue. So there you go. Western science is a great guide to point us in the right direction, but I find it insufficient in actually adequately answering the questions from a more holistic perspective.